You're listening to Company Men.
I'm Chuck Tomervik.
I'm Jared Carter.
And if we can feel strongly about things, so can you.
I wish I was John Goodman.
I wish I was John Goodman
Just
every day.
In every situation.
Every day. There are few things I would rather be than John Goodman. Hey, Jared. You brought me somewhere.
I sure did, Chuck.
Where are we?
So, one of the difficult things about making a podcast is trying to find a location and a place where we can record. And
welcome to podcast chat.
Welcome to podcast chat. So we're talking, we're going off topic here for a little bit. And so historically, we have recorded at Chuck's house, and
which is, as some of you know, and all of you should know, is chock full of people and animals.
there's quite a few.
Wall to wall.
So for a while, and I just want to say, like, Chuck, your wife is amazing.
She's
she makes it where we're able to use your place once a week, and that's super just sweet of her. And obviously we don't want to impose on her all the time and trying to figure that out. So
there has to be a better solution.
Right.
I am not convinced this is it?
No. Yeah, so we've been making a half-hearted attempt for a while to find another location that we could use, preferably for free, and also with some nice acoustics, whatever the case might be. We're in it. Okay, so a couple things. One, we're in a location that I can't say where we're at
because big secret.
Because technically we're not even certain that we are supposed to be here. The person who gave us permission is like, yeah, if you could just not say where you're at. So we're
in an undisclosed location.
That is a public place.
It's dark. It's very dark.
We have turned off the lights because
I can't see.
With the lights on, multiple people on the street have come and tried to open the door and come inside. And so we're sitting in the dark. There's a lot of freaky sounds. We're pretty sure there's construction going on.
Or
next
ghosts.
door.
There's either construction or drill ghosts.
Or drill ghosts.
Drill-based
drill ghost
spectral
stories.
activity.
Real drill ghost stories. And so, yeah, we're sitting here in the dark. And it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I feel kind of
fun
sneaky.
in a spooky and hopefully won't get arrested kind of way.
Yeah, if the cops walk by and they see a light up here, there's a decent chance they're going to want to know what's up. That's fine. We'll talk to them. We'll have them on the show.
Yeah.
Hey, coppers, how do you like to host?
You ever host anyone in the back of your car?
Yeah.
In the back of your patrol car.
Hosting your new friends in the back of your control car. Patrol car. I called it a control car, which technically it is.
Kind of the same. Kind of also accurate.
Hey, Chuck, you brought me something.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yes, I brought you a beer to this spooky place. And I'm going to hold it by the light of the computer screen so that you can see. Following the theme of beers with funny faces on them, I don't actually know whose face this is, but this is the Kalamazoo Stout.
That man's face looks like the face of a man who is normally a clown, but has taken off his makeup, and he's terrifying.
He's been in prison now for 35 years. That's the face on here.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm going to crack the Kalamazoo Stout for you. I like this because we've talked a fair bit on the podcast about licorice. I think.
I don't know if we've ever mentioned it. And there's at least 3 people I know that will immediately tell us you've never talked about licorice before on your podcast.
in the Company Men wiki, chalk one up under licorice mentions.
We have one friend that if we mention anything from the podcast can actually tell us which episode it came from. There's only been like 6, but that'd be like episode 5. It's pretty cool.
We've got super fan.
We do. We have
it's neat.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pour this in, and you can tell it's very dark. Although so is everything in this room.
Yeah. So. This is super dark. It could be a Pilsner. It could be grape juice. I can't tell.
But I do know that you are a big fan of licorice and licorice flavors.
What is our favorite candy, Chuck?
I was going to say Mike and Ike, which is a different one.
That's Mike and Ike's are disgusting. Never say that again.
They're both good. There's room for both.
There's not. I brought you a can of Unihopper. This is from Dragoon Brewery, which is located here in Tucson.
I've made that before. I was a really troubled kid. I used to pull the legs off of all kinds of insects, including grasshoppers, and then
make them
have one left. They'd have one little leg left and be a little Unihopper.
Yeah.
That was dark.
Yeah, that's like something. Yeah, it's that joke was dark, just like the room that we're in right now. I'd like to tell you more about this beer. It's not a very high alcohol content, which normally when I go for beers, I like the ones with a higher alcohol content because they're usually the ones that have a much stronger flavor. So when I talk about beers that are like the extreme version of whatever they are, that's usually 8 or 9. Yeah. But this one's 5.3, and it is just so full of flavor. I love it. Cool. So good. My friend Andrew
from Dragoon?
From Dragoon, yeah. And I had this for the first time on Saturday night. Our friends Andrew and Corey had us over for dinner. It was a wonderful experience, and they had this beer. And they actually went, they thought through what kind of beer would Jared like.
What a nice gesture.
They did very, 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 very good.
Yeah.
They also gave me a beer that they were pretty sure had gone bad. And they wanted to know if I thought it had gone bad.
What a less nice gesture.
We poured these real good.
Yeah, this is nice.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah.
And there's it's just dark and we can't even appreciate it. But
no.
I'm going to try the Unihopper.
Give it a try.
Oh, that is so smooth and quaffable. I want to drink all of it.
It's not overbearing in the least bit. I feel like just about anybody would really enjoy that beer.
It's really drinkable, but yeah, it is really hitting you with a lot of like citrusy notes, like orange and peach, and like really, really tasty.
Isn't that good?
This is so good. I wish that I had this last week when we were recording in the hottest place under the sun.
Oh, that was so hot.
This would have been really nice then.
They have that at Tap and Bottle.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy it again, I'm not sure if it's anywhere else.
Lots of fun local references so far for those of you listening outside of Tucson, Arizona.
Tap and Bottle, fantastic little wine and beer spot.
Yeah. And Dragoon is a local brewery here in Tucson.
That we all love, and people ride their bikes there.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay, I'm going to try get
on that Kalamazoo
stout.
Out of our borders.
I love that you bring me so many stouts because I'm really starting to. They're growing on me. Okay, I'm gonna give this a taste. You know what this has in common with Good and Plenty? It's very good, and I would like to drink plenty of it.
Well, that was a pretty slick little. That was nice.
No, that's very, very good. I'm not at the point yet where I can tell stouts apart very well. Mm-hmm. I do know that I like some stouts and I don't like others.
Yeah, sure.
And I really like this stout.
It's just like a totally different profile with drinking the lighter beers, the pale ales. Yeah. You get a lot of like the citrusy and the piney and the those kind of flavors. And this you get all like the fun chocolate and coffee and licorice. And
yep, I like those that have those notes. I love also breakfast stouts.
Oh yeah,
I have not had a breakfast stout yet that I didn't enjoy.
How are you on the nitro? Are you do you get down with the nitro
milk stout from Left Hand Brewery?
Well, just in general, like a nitro beer with those like smoother, smaller bubblies.
I enjoy it when it comes to stouts.
Yeah.
In fact,
that's
the place that we mentioned, Tap and Bottle, they had Sculpin, which is an IPA from Ballast Point. They had that on nitro. Much smaller bubbles.
Yeah,
and it had I didn't care for it.
It's like weird juice.
Yeah, it is a weird juice.
But occasionally I'll get a stout that I like.
Did you mention that this is from Bell's?
Yeah,
brewery.
I didn't mention that, but that's a fact.
I didn't notice that because of, again, how dark it is in here. But Bell's
talking about the visual aspects of this are great for the audio medium that this is.
Oh, for sure. But Bell's makes one of my top 3 favorite IPAs. The Bell's Two-Hearted Ale has some fish on the can. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So you hit me with that local. I'm hitting you with that Michigan. Cool.
Scenario knows.
I want everyone to know how hard Jared's been working on
Scenario knows. Chuck, tell them my idea, because if they don't want to hear this, there's something else that I wanted to do. You won't
Jared
let me.
has tried very, very, very hard to pay a person to record the
Not
intro.
a person, a British lady.
We've compromised. I've talked you down to a classy British lady.
Oh, I wasn't going to go for a classy British lady. I was thinking more like, Scenario knows! Scenario knows? Why? What? That's a scenario now.
You want to pay real dollars to a person to record the intro
I thought
to the dumbestly named segment in the history of podcasts. It's not bad enough that we have to say scenario knows. You don't want to pay someone else to say it for us.
I would like to pay somebody who's very different than us, who's not us, to say, oh, so you found yourself in another scenario? Oh, no. Oh, my. Eat a full English breakfast, then build up some energy to overcome this hilarious scenario. Oh, no. Like that. Something along those lines.
Right.
Yeah. Top of the morning scenario knows. All right, then. Fine. We're going to stick with scenario. Oh, no.
Yeah,
we'll get
that real
This was stupid. I hope you edit this whole part out.
Never gonna do that.
It's ridiculous.
No matter how much
Scenario knows.
If you're listening to this and you are a British lady and would like to be paid several dollars to record this.
Several? Like 6?
Let us know. We'll work something out.
We'll give you €3, and that's it.
I don't know how many dollars that is. I don't know what you've just committed me to.
2 pounds of euros. Well, I'd love 2 pounds of euros.
Yeah.
That's the phone ringing. So I don't know if you can hear that. We'll be quiet for a second. That's the phone ringing.
This is good.
Oh, there's an answering machine. That's nice. We should answer the phone and say, what questions do you have about hosting?
Welcome to Company Men. We're taking live callers here on our podcast.
From an undisclosed location that we're not supposed to be in. It's very orange outside right now.
Oh. That's a weird statement, but it's true.
It's true.
What the hell were we talking about?
Scenario knows. All right, Chuck. Scenario no for you, my friend. I want to... Normally, it seems like we go into some really crazy places with this. I want to back up a little bit and go a little more normal.
Cool.
Because this is something that actually happens to people all the time. You have friends over. You are going to be grilling dinner. Everything kind of centers around the grill. And you realize, because you're not one of those people who owns 2 propane tanks, and let's just say that you're using gas in this particular case, you suddenly realize that you light the propane and the light just goes out.
You're out o propane.
You're propane free. This has happened to a lot of people. I'm sure plenty of people who are listening to this are like, that has happened to me.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I will. So first I will tell you, this is one of my greatest fears. This keeps me up at night for several days before parties. And what ends up invariably happening is that I refill my propane tank when it's about 3/4 still full. I go and exchange it almost every time because I'm just afraid, I'm going to have people over and I'm going to grill and then I'm going to run out of propane and everything's going to go to hell and it's going to be terrible. And it will just ruin everything. So I'm a habitual propane tank early exchanger, if that's a thing. Mm-hmm. But let's say that I wasn't crippled by anxiety about this and was able to function as a normal person and just allow this to deplete. And now I've invited people over and I'm out of propane.
Yeah.
It obviously depends on what I'm cooking.
Right.
I find that the broiler is often a phenomenal substitute for the gas grill.
You passed. That was the answer to that question.
That's the correct answer. I've also got a pretty heavy-duty kitchen torch.
Oh,
so if there's not a large amount of food, if it's like a few things that like maybe some corn, I've never tried torching corn, but that sounds super fun.
Oh yeah,
maybe I just threw a few ears of corn on the grill and I'm gonna hit it with that kitchen torch, get them all crispy.
That's actually where my scenario note came from. Is I like to grill corn. I think you've tried it before. The Mexican corn. Yeah. It's like grilled and mixed with mayonnaise and different things. And I was about to cook a whole bunch of corn, and as soon as I lit up the grill, the flames just went out. But I used the broiler, and it actually worked perfect.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Absolutely.
Broiler is such a great option for steaks. Just put them in a cast iron skillet. Toss it under the broiler. Yep. Hot dogs especially. Broil the heck out of those.
A lot of people think that that's just a storage area for the oven, which is true. But yeah, you can use that sucker, and it's a reverse grill. It just puts a little flame over the top on most ovens, anyway, on ovens I'm familiar with, and it'll get stuff all crispy fired.
I love broilers just for so many reasons. Let's go off on a tangent here. You probably love your broiler just as much as I do. You make nachos.
I do.
And the cheese isn't melted to the degree that you want it to.
Nope.
Just toss that sucker under the freaking broiler.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
So good for veggies. So many veggies are so good if you just throw them under the broiler rather than like getting that roasty veggie, as opposed to throwing them in the oven, which I feel just takes long and you end up either burnt or mooshed. The broiler gets them nice and get that good little flavors going on it without making it all mushy. You can still kind of have that little crispy veggie, like asparagus is perfect this way. Brussels sprouts are perfect this way.
You end up with a bunch of green chilies, which for one reason or another has happened to me multiple times. Toss those that same experience when you're walking into a grocery store. I don't know if this happens everywhere.
Again,
but
another kind of
in
local
the Southwest.
Tucson.
It's kind of a local Tucson thing. You walk into a grocery store and somebody's outside roasting chili peppers.
Yes.
And you can
use your
broiler for that.
Of all time.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Try doing that inside your house.
Yeah.
Amazing. So good. Cool. I think you answered that one quite well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can do as well with my scenario. No. My scenario. No.
Scenario. Oh no.
All right. I'm warming up to it.
Say it like a Teletubby.
I'm gonna have to reach way back.
Sorry, oh no!
Tsunami, oh no!
Oh no!
Tsunami, oh no! This is the worst
thing. That was great, actually.
Why do we?
We sounded a lot like them.
God.
All right.
Not a thing to aspire to.
Yeah, it is.
You are hosting a party.
Mm-hmm.
You have told your guests to arrive at whatever time, we'll call it 6 p.m. for a dinner. And to BYOB, you are relying on your guests to bring alcoholic beverages, right?
Sure.
You and I throw lots and lots of get-togethers, and they're of all sorts of different kinds and themes, and all of them, from kids' birthday parties up to game nights to intimate dinners with friends.
Mm-hmm.
There's one common theme, and that is there's a little bit of booze to help facilitate, the party happening.
In a lot of cases. It just depends on who's coming over.
You're now relying on your guests to provide.
Yeah.
And all of your guests show up at 6 for dinner. They've brought maybe sides. They've brought, all sorts of things that aren't booze.
Yeah.
You have none. You have a very, very
have
dry.
Sure.
You have a the town from Footloose party on your hands. What do you do?
I don't do a whole lot, honestly. Maybe I'm not going to make this a very fun scenario. No, because I've actually had this happen. And generally what we do is just go on with the evening. And at some point, somebody will invariably ask, should I go out and get beer? At which point, we all point at that person and go, you're the alcoholic.
It was me. It was me all along.
The whole time. No, I don't mean to make fun of alcoholics, because there are some out there. But I would say, you don't have to have alcohol. And I mean that in all sincerity. I think that alcohol should be a part of most get-togethers. It just kind of adds an element of fun. When not
used
like excessively, at least
in moderation.
In moderation, with responsibility. I honestly, I've never,
Yep.
I don't enjoy like super drunken get-togethers, but I enjoy a little bit of alcohol. But if you don't have it and you can't have fun, like you should stop hosting.
Yeah.
If you're at the point where it's like, oh, get together is just getting together and drinking, that's not the whole point.
Yep.
It should be a side thing to it, but the point is getting together and getting to know people. Part of every single get together that you're going to have is discomfort. Like, and it doesn't matter if there's alcohol involved or not. There's an element of vulnerability, and maybe that's pumped up to 11 when there's nothing there to kind of like soothe your nerves a little bit. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad night. And so I would say in that case, the best thing to do is, one, don't make anybody feel bad for not bringing alcohol if they were supposed to. Two, just kind of tell people, hey, I'm sorry, normally I have a beer here or whatever, but would you like some chocolate milk? Hey, do something fun. You got that half carton of ice cream that's been sitting in the fridge forever? Make some milkshakes.
Let's throw it under the broiler for a second.
Do something weird. Do something freaky. I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah. No, it's good. You're absolutely right. And for me, it's more a matter of I had a plan. I had a thought of how this was going to go, and then it didn't go.
Right.
And then I have to tamp down all those feelings of like, but it was supposed to be like this. And once I get past that, absolutely, it's fine.
Yeah. I want to tell this story, but I know the person listens to this, and so I don't want to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up. Listen, if you're listening to this, you're the only person who knows that this was you, and it wasn't even a big deal. It's just kind of funny. I have a friend, and they've told me before, like, every time you tell a story, it's about us. It's true. You guys
put so many caveats on the story. They make the 45 minutes long.
They make the best stories. Said friend texted. No, this was actually a different couple. You're off the hook, normal friends. This was another couple. The guy texts me and he says, "Hey, can I bring beer to your get together?" And I said, "Sure, that'd be great." And so I just kind of counted on him because it was just us and them, and I thought,
sure.
He brings a 6-pack of beer. That's more than enough.
Right.
And so he texts me about 45 minutes before this get together and says, "Hey, we're headed over. Should I bring anything?" And I said, "No, that's okay. Don't worry about it." Totally, because you can't.
In your mind, you've already
established that one thing that you were bringing, and then he said, "Yeah." And so he shows up empty-handed, and his wife says, "Hey, I thought that you were going to bring beers," and he says, "Yeah, but I asked Jared, and he said me not to bring anything." Yeah, but you told him you were going to bring beers. So she just called him out having the exact same conversation we're having here.
She nailed him right there.
She was like,
the start.
"Yeah, but you said this and that happened." And it was funny. We got over it real quick. It was not a big deal at all. But I just thought, in terms of what we're talking about here. So that's a good way. Hey, that's a good tip for those of you who are broke. If you're going to somebody's house, offer to bring something, and then 30 minutes before, in a completely unrelated text conversation, be like, "We're on our way. You need anything?"
When you know their heads are focused on all of the things they have to get ready to get the party going, make sure you text them right at that moment.
Oh, I don't think he listens to this, so it's fine. But if he does, I love you. I love you. You're cool. All right.
Awesome. Today, tonight, this evening, whenever you're listening, we want to do, usually we dive in, we give you guys some advice, some tips on some things. We're going to do a little something different. Mm-hmm. You guys know I have strong opinions about
You sure do.
things.
Yep.
It's a little known fact, Jared also feels pretty strongly about a lot of stuff.
To the extent that it makes my wife extremely uncomfortable sometimes. I'll start going off on a rant about something similar to what you do, but I don't believe that I'm as eloquent or loud. And she will.
It's a rule of mine. If I'm going to shout, at least do it
If I'm going to speak, I might as well yell. So yeah,
no half measures, right?
That's right. And I just mumble. But sometimes she's caught off guard by, "Why do you care so much about fruit salad?" I have very strong feelings about fruit salad.
Of course, if you put a banana in it, you're a horrible person.
Oh, who would do that?
Only a monster.
It's the only thing where people don't follow recipes. Everything else, you wouldn't take you wouldn't take anything else and just toss it together. And when you do, it's always horrible. It's like vegetables.
Right. This is a perfect intro into this segment, which we're going to call This or That. And we're going to present a couple of options, and we're going to argue on one side or the other. And so this is a good segue. Jared, the worst thing to put into a fruit salad, bananas or melons?
You know what? I'm going to option number 3, bananas and grapes. Bananas and grapes in the same fruit salad is just disgusting and stupid and wrong.
Are they whole grapes or are they cut in half?
They're cut in half, of course. Because I'm a child.
Sloppy and grapey. Make sure I don't choke on it.
Nasty. Oh, gosh. Bananas just in general are gross. And then mixing them with grapes, which are wonderful. And then adding like honey. Oh, and sometimes people do mayonnaise with their fruit. It's so bad.
Who are your friends? That's a new one to me.
Those aren't friends.
But here's the... I don't want to hate on bananas even though they're gross, but here's the thing about a banana in a fruit salad. If you're out there thinking, but I put a banana in a fruit salad, here's the thing, is you love bananas. Fine.
You do.
The thing about a banana in a fruit salad is that it makes the whole fruit salad taste like banana. Every piece of fruit in there is now a banana with a different texture.
Yeah.
Bananas have no regard for the whole like symphony of flavors that is a well thought out fruit salad. They say, well, I'm a banana, you might as well be one too. We're all bananas now. It's a banana salad. It's a horrible thing.
I want to say I had a slice of pie the other day that had banana on top of it, and it was like called a bonafru or something. I don't know. It's actually a British like pie. That
Try and Google that. I guess. Be careful.
It has what's it called? It's not tres leches because it's from England. When you take the sweetened condensed milk and you boil it for hours and hours.
I don't know. I've always called that dulce de leche.
That's essentially the same thing, but they did that with whipped cream and bananas, and it was very tasty.
Neat.
All right. Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
Gas versus charcoal. Go.
Yeah. There's definitely a place for both. I'm not hating on one or the other, but if you're going to put me on the spot and say one or the other, I'm going to say gas, and here's why. Gas is so much easier to work with. If I have a grill, and grills are not cheap things. This is something you're going to spend some money on. It's something I want to use on the regular. Mm-hmm. If I get myself a charcoal grill, that's kind of a commitment every time I want it. Like if I'm in the position that I'm in a lot, which is that like I've just gotten home and I need to make some food.
Right.
I need to conjure up a meal for my family so they don't die. I cannot possibly fathom trying to like get charcoal to the right temperature and get everything balanced and spread it out, and now all right, here we're good. Finally I can throw some food on the grill, and that's just that concept I cannot get behind. A charcoal or a gas grill, I can just turn on the gas, I can hit the igniter, I can throw a match in, and it lights up, and I can cook some dang food, which is what I need to do.
And that's why this conversation is ridiculous, because you wouldn't say toasters versus ovens, right? A toaster...
Ovens. I would say that. Ovens...
and in this particular case, charcoal is your oven. It's for doing the big thing. Like, you want to heat up some old chicken nuggets? Do that in your toaster oven. If you want to, like, cook up a nice chicken dinner, you use an oven for that. And I feel like charcoal, I don't know what it is. I can't explain the science behind it. I mean, really, at the end of the day, isn't gas cooking just the same as cooking on top of your stove at home? It's just gas equals flame equals fire. And yeah, it gets the job done. And on a weeknight, sure, I come home, I need to cook up some sausages or whatever for the family, toss them on a gas grill, perfectly fine. But when I'm making a steak, I always regret using gas. I just regret it. It doesn't form the crust.
You're saying categorically that that a charcoal grill is better than a gas.
Sure, and I think if you're not putting out a lot of money, most charcoal grills that you'll purchase will not give you the type of extreme heat that you need to sear a piece of meat really well. If it's one of those pieces of meats like a steak that needs to be seared on the outside, raw on the inside. Chuck, I don't have time for this. Ask me another versus question. We could go back and forth forever.
All right. We're going to hit you with the next one. We're going to say, sticking on the theme of cooking implements, sous vide versus smoking.
This is hard for me because I know how you feel.
Oh, you know how I feel, and I'm going to get down on it.
Let me tell you, Chuck is a very influential guy. Chuck got into sous vide cooking. Every member of his family then got into sous vide cooking. Half the people who listen to this podcast own a sous vide.
Do you know why?
Cooker.
Because it is categorically better than so many other methods of cooking. It's so good. It's so good. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. Sous vide cooking, basic concept. Hey, I want to eat this food. I'm going to give it a bath for 3 days.
Yes, it's the concept of slow cooking. Both of these.
No,
sous vide versus smoking. It's slow cooking. You're committing to this thing down the road.
It is absolutely impossible
to
get your sous vide meat to absorb the kind of flavor that you get when you are smoking it. I believe this wholeheartedly. Essentially, and tell me if I'm wrong, sous vide, like you get the meat to the right temperature, and sure, You've cooked for me, Chuck. It produces some tender pork, some tender chicken. It works out really well. But then at the end, when you try to go to like the flavor part, when you're trying to smoke it, when you're trying to sear it, yeah, you can maybe get a nice sear on there. But if you want to add that smoky flavor, that meat is done accepting new things. It's like, I have been cooking for 3 days. Don't toss any smoke my way. I'm keeping it on the outside, baby. And I just, okay, that's my opinion.
First of all, if you're going to do this, if you're going to make a commitment to the food that you are serving, you should be getting really good food. And I am a big proponent of having a butcher. I love my butcher. I highly recommend him. Hit me up on Facebook if you're in the Tucson area. I will direct you his way.
Ben Folds.
Ben is not his name.
No.
That's a man who plays the piano and sings with a weird voice. I'm talking about a man who cuts meat out of an animal and brings it to my house.
Yes.
Very different professions. If you are going to do this, if you're going to cook your food for a long time, you should get high quality meat. And if you are getting high quality meat, you should celebrate that meat, not defile it with many, many different flavors. You should cook that meat as perfectly as possible and then enjoy what that meat is and what God created it to be. It is a wonderful, beautiful thing, and sous vide allows you to, with all the precision, without all of the, with a really, really expensive smoker, I can control the temperature. If I'm sitting there staring at it for hours and hours and days on end, I can do that with a sous vide system. I can set it up. I can leave and go about my business, do the other things that I need to do, prepare the other things I need to prepare for this get together. And not only that, but it does not preclude me from adding smoke later, as I have done on many occasions with a brisket or a pork shoulder. Take it out to my gas grill.
Yes, yeah.
And set up a nice little smoking situation and add a little bit of smoky flavor.
Don't you tell me this always turns out. Don't you tell me that it always works that way, because I know for a fact. Chuck, that your brisket, when you tried to add smoky flavor,
half of it was really good and half of it was really not very good. Okay,
it's just too much freaking work.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, okay, and food should not come out of a Ziploc bag. Ready, beer versus wine.
Okay, all right, okay. It's really easy.
I have a really hard time talking, but I know for the purpose of the show, we shouldn't, behind closed doors. I love all your food, and you sous vide everything. And some guy, TJ, our mutual friend, sous vide some wings and made hot wings, and they were some of the best hot wings I've ever had.
They're so freaking good, because sous vide is so good. Yes, for the sake of this thing, we're going to take hard stances, and
I won't do that again. I feel like in this case, you've just done it sous vide so many times. I can't just be mad about that.
I love beer.
Beer versus wine.
I am going to take... It's very easy for me to just say beer, which is certainly my preference.
Right.
But if you're saying which one is better, I'm going to go wine. I'm going to take a little bit of a devil's advocate stance here, despite the fact that it is not what I would prefer. Were you to say, hey, Chuck, would you like beer or wine? I would say beer.
Why then would you say wine is better? Why?
Wine, for one, is largely going to appeal to the beer crowd. If you have a nice wine, if you have a bunch of friends over, and these friends are the kind of friends that you would give a craft beer to, these are probably also friends who would be enticed by a nice wine that you picked
absolutely
out.
true. That's a great point.
And it has an even broader appeal.
Yeah.
There are some people who don't care for beer who would absolutely love some wine. The fact that you can go to such different extremes with different kinds of wine.
No, you can't. No, that's
sweet,
baloney.
From
so look,
big body
this is what you have.
You just haven't had enough wine. I'm
no,
telling
I've had
such a range of
not,
things you can do with
not at
wine.
All.
There's
completely unidentifiable things.
Go ahead.
Chuck,
Go
there
ahead.
is
Tell me why
dry.
beer is
no,
better than
look,
wine.
In the wine world, there is dry and sweet. There is red and white, and that is it. That is it for wines. It is absolutely right. It is absolutely right. I don't care who you are and what you think you're tasting. At the end of the day, you cannot tell me the differences between red wines. You cannot tell me the differences between white wines, but you can sure as heck tell me the difference between an IPA and a stout. The difference between a Hefeweizen and a Pilsner, a lager and a other thing. I mean, you got variety out the wazoo, and with wines, I don't care who you are. Go online. There's plenty of stuff about this. Google it. Wine tasting is baloney. People cannot tell the differences 9 times out of 10. Go and watch a video where there's one, I don't know where it comes from, but there's a video online you can probably find it. And if I find it, I'll share it on the website, where a wine connoisseur, certified like wine taster guy, and his friend try really expensive wines versus Trader Joe wines. And 9 times out of 10, they can't even tell what the wine is.
Here we go. Jared's citing YouTube as his argument for why beer is better than wine. I'm not hating on either. I love them both. I spent a lot of years drinking almost exclusively wine, and have in recent years switched. But I do believe that you can do more. You can use it more broadly. I use wine in cooking all the time. Different kinds of wines lend themselves well to different kinds of cooking. Different kinds of wines lend themselves to pairing, to celebrate the kind of food, to really bring that out. I think that wines are a better beverage.
You know what?
I'm gonna take that stance. Even though I'd rather drink it.
And I'm just gonna say, I can't be completely anti-wine because
that would just be whining.
Well, no, because Jesus was a fan of wine.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
I'm a fan of him.
Do you think if they had craft beer, like if
at that wedding, do you think Jesus would have turned water into craft beer? I think if he had like 6 different vessels, he would have turned each one into a different style of beer. He would have said, this water is now stout, this water is now Hefeweizen, this water is now IPA. But that's why when it came to wine, he's just like, I'll turn all of this into wine, because nobody's going to be able to tell the difference.
All right.
Did you notice that, Chuck? He didn't turn it into red wine. He just turned it into wine.
All right, stop. Summer versus winter. Go. Take a strong stance.
Summer versus winter. Big fan of winter, and that's because I live in Tucson. The winters here are summers in other places. When we have winter in Arizona, that means that it is a nice, freezing 74 degrees. We get to go outside in shorts. It feels great, but we all wear sweaters anyways because it's the only time that we can. I love it, and plus it's Christmas time, and I love Christmas.
That is the most self-centered way to view this. Yes, winter is more bearable in this small little pocket of the world that we live in, but summer is a time for a celebration. It's time for people to leave their little hovels in their homes.
Don't celebrate
to go outside
here. We can't.
And to be together. And even here during the summer, your kids are off school. You can have more get-togethers. You can do more things. Summer opens up possibilities. Summer allows people to be their true selves, as opposed to the grumpy, angry people people that they are during winter. You know it's true. You're all focused on the on shopping, or you're focused on the weather, or you're focused on just the slog of the school year. Summer allows people to celebrate and be who they are. Summer is categorically better. Fight me if you disagree.
No, I mean, Michigan Jared is a huge fan of summer, but hates winter.
Yep.
And Arizona Jared is right. Christmas versus Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's better. Thanksgiving is way
Oh, no, it's not.
Thanksgiving is the best. Thanksgiving is the best day of the year. Hands down, Thanksgiving versus every other day wins by a landslide.
Baloney.
Thanksgiving has all of the things that are great about Christmas. Family getting together, celebrating things that they are appreciative for, being able to just really focus on what's important to you without the awful, horrible, commercial, just focus on tangible things that come with Christmas. And I'm not hating on Christmas, but this whole aspect of it that is like, I gotta get the stuff.
I gotta get this stuff.
Thanksgiving has all the stuff that's great about Christmas without all the things that suck.
Let me tell you what sucks about Thanksgiving. When's the last time you sang a Thanksgiving song?
I always sing a Thanksgiving song from like November 4th until the Thanksgiving. I'm humming a happy tune to myself.
Okay, so there is no good Thanksgiving music. There are no Thanksgiving lights.
I would argue is a pro.
Stop.
There's no weird people coming to my house to sing a song to me on Thanksgiving. That's a pro.
Thanksgiving food. Let me just tell you something about Thanksgiving food.
It's the best food ever?
It's the best food ever, so I just eat it this one day out of the freaking year.
Exactly.
It's so good that I wouldn't want to eat it in February.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want it to eat it in July. I wouldn't want to eat it in a box or with a fox. I wouldn't want to eat it on a bagel with lox. If the food is so good, Chuck, if the food is so good, why out of 365, 66, depending on the year, days do we eat this food? Do we not eat this food and we eat it one day?
It's so good, it's sacred.
People who go to sandwich shops,
these lesser days cannot touch it.
When I meet a person, when I go to a sandwich shop with people and see them, and I don't go to sandwich shops with people very often, but if I did and I saw them order that sandwich that has the stuffing and the turkey and the cranberry,
that horrible abomination, that
disgusting
affronts to all things that are good,
those are freaky people, and I would not be friends with them. They probably put bananas in their fruit salad.
Yeah, they absolutely put bananas in their fruit salad, and probably on that gross-ass sandwich also.
You feel the same way about that sandwich?
It's the worst thing that ever was
so weird.
It was
Give me a holiday in between two slices of bread. That's just strange. Friends versus acquaintances.
Acquaintances are just better.
Why?
Because you get all the things that you need from friends without having to get all weird with them.
Would you consider me a friend or an acquaintance?
I would neither. They're a mutually beneficial business arrangement.
For a business that makes no money.
No, it costs money. We're paying weird British people to say words at us.
Scenario, oh no, friends versus acquaintances. I like
anniversaries versus Valentine's Day. We're going to move on past the friends versus acquaintances before I say more stuff.
Valentine's Day makes me
seem like
sick.
a bad person.
I hate Valentine's Day. It's just ridiculous. And
so you're saying that anniversaries are better than Valentine's
love anniversaries.
Day. Okay.
I love anniversaries. I always make a big deal out of anniversaries, Valentine's Day. All of the restaurants are crowded and overbooked, and so you got to plan a day around it. It really feels like such an obligatory thing. It just doesn't feel like something... Because when I'm celebrating anniversaries, I'm celebrating like I married the love of my life. And when I'm celebrating Valentine's Day, I'm like, oh, I better do this. So for the most part, what's really cool is my wife feels the same. We don't really celebrate Valentine's Day in a big
how
way.
Romantic of you.
Hey, I do go to Walgreens afterwards and get her some discounted chocolates, and she's plenty fine with that.
Nothing says I love you like spending the bare minimum. Yeah, that's sure a real good curmudgeonly way to go about it. Or you could take Valentine's Day as a great way to show this person who means more to you than anybody else in the whole planet.
Yeah, I'll just do that every other week of the year.
More than all the rest of the people.
Oh,
it's a way to
dumb.
win. It's a competition. On my anniversary, I have yes, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to, unless I forget it.
Okay, I'm making a face at Chuck.
I can't tell. It's dark. So first off, Valentine's Day is a lot harder to forget. But it's also a way, right, there, regardless of who you are, not saying this is a good thing to do, but it is a thing that we do regardless. You look around at the other people in your life, at the other people around you, at the people on TV. You compare yourself and your relationship to those people. You do it. Don't shake your head. I think you're shaking your head.
It's really, really dark.
You do it. And if you don't do it, I guarantee you that your wife does it. And Valentine's Day is a great way to go all out, to go big, to go huge, to show that you are so important to me, and I know you so well that I can make you feel so good on this day. Forget all those other people. I can win. I can win Valentine's Day.
Those are all horrible reasons to celebrate Valentine's Day. Lactose intolerant versus gluten-free.
Oh, you know
I'm not going to touch this.
You know I'm going to go lactose intolerant because that's me, dog. I can't drink that milk. I do anyway. That's the other thing, is that I feel like lactose intolerant folks just like be that way and deal with the world around them, largely speaking. And yeah, maybe I have a pizza with some cheese on it, sure, and then I got a bad belly for a little while. And you know what? That's okay.
I'm going to separate this into three different things. There's lactose intolerance, there's gluten insensitivity, and there's celiac disease. I'm going to say celiac disease, totally legit. Lactose intolerant, totally legit. Gluten intolerance, not real. Moving on.
Ooh, really taking the hard stance and moving?
Sorry, it's just not a real thing.
All right. Jared, I was born in 1987. When were you born?
I was born in the wonderful year of 1984.
1987's better.
Why? Tell me what happened in 1987 besides the birth of you. Not sold.
The Inception.
No, Inception came out in 2009, I think.
Who knows?
I don't know.
No one cares. But the inception of the greatest thing to ever happen to our television sets, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, graced our lives in the year of 1987 of our Lord A.D.
1984.
That's why 1984.
There's a book. Okay.
Yeah, about how terrible the world is now.
Ronald Reagan was reelected. Ooh. So depending on who you are, that could be a good thing. He was really good at bringing people together. He brought together
Republicans.
He brought together social conservatives and economic conservatives and conservative Democrats. He was really good at bringing people from a spectrum of different places together. Also, 1984, they had the Olympics that year. 1987 is when they were talking about the Olympics.
I prefer talking about the Olympics to watching it, actually.
Cheeseburgers versus hot dogs.
Okay. This is a tough one. If we're really talking about ceilings, how good can a thing be? I'm going to go cheeseburger, of course.
Yeah.
Hot dogs have a hard ceiling. But if we're talking about the median, right, like the average of things, you know what you're getting with a hot dog. You can't mess it up. You can't, you can't be surprised really by a hot dog. If you say, give me a hot dog, my dude, you're going to get a hot dog and you're going to know that I can eat this because I know what it is. With a hamburger, it can be undercooked or overcooked, or it can be under-toppinged or over-toppinged. There's too many things that can go wrong with a hamburger. Even though I think that hamburgers can be better, they have more potential, I'm going to say hot dog is better.
I would say that most of my encounters with the two of these, I really like a good cheeseburger. I've not had a whole lot of good cheeseburgers in different places. But hot dogs, and even with hot dogs, okay, I'm going to confess something a little embarrassing. The last time that I went someplace where there were hot dogs, I prepared my own toppings before I arrived. Guys,
where was this place?
Oh, this was a barbecue.
Did you go to a Sonic drive-in with your own?
No, even worse. This was a barbecue in somebody's home. And here's the thing about...
Did you bring enough for the whole class?
Look, when you go to... No, I didn't. When you go to a barbecue and somebody has hot dogs, they will often have ketchup Sometimes, if you're lucky, they will have mustard, and they will have the both. In which case, you can just go with the mustard and just forego the ketchup entirely.
It's the worst condiment ever.
It's the what? Ketchup? If
we can agree on something.
Oh no, I actually really enjoy ketchup. To be honest with you,
I
just don't like it on hot dogs.
Hands down, worst condiment.
So last time that we went, I actually diced up some red onions, diced up some dill pickles. I brought a Engelhofer's stone ground mustard and a package of celery salt. I then closed these things in a bag. And here's what's funny: we show up at the barbecue and.
And they say, hot dogs are ready, and Jared pulls out a caddy
listen, even worse.
Single-serve toppings for himself.
Trisha sends me home because she says we're out of... we don't. We forgot the boys' floaties. There was a swimming pool there.
Pool situation.
So I handed her the bag, and I was like, please hide this when you go inside, and don't tell anybody that I brought my own toppings, because I didn't intend on letting anyone know. Of course, people knew when I showed up, which is fine. That's fine. It was a little embarrassing, but I ate the hot dog that I wanted to eat. Which, for me, guys, perfect hot dog, mustard, diced onions, diced dill pickle, and a little bit of celery salt. Perfect hot dog.
You just invalidated every opinion that you have fought for.
I have had...
There goes a motorcycle.
I have had hot dogs and carrot cake.
What?
20 out of the 30 birthdays that I've had.
What are you saying?
I love carrot cake and hot dogs together. It's a wonderful combination. When it comes to hot dogs, it has to be... Hebrew National or Nathan's Bun Length.
Or Farmer John's, the official hot dog of the LA Dodgers.
Farmer John's, the official hot dog of Walmart? Is that what you're
talking
about? Get out of
here. Farmer John's is the best hot dog.
Please don't sue me, Walmart. I'm just sad. You don't, no. That's fine. All right.
We came to
I didn't even enjoy this segment. No.
That's because your opinions are not as good or right or valid because you ate hot dogs and carrot cake. You're a bad person.
And you like Valentine's Day.
I didn't say I like it.
I imagine that you probably like Valentine's Day, the movie. It's one of your favorite movies.
It's a solid ensemble cast. They really put a good thing out.
The New Year's one is better.
Oh, yeah. Well, everyone knows the New Year's is better.
Okay.
We're going to take it to that commercial, y'all. Catch you on the other side. This is a dumb way.
Catch up on the other side.
It's a dumb transition.
Catch you on the other side. Catch you on the other side.
I've been paid $6 to tell you that the next segment is starting.
I've been paid £5 of €6 to tell you that here's some music. Play.
All right. We had stronger opinions than I suspected.
We talked for a real long time.
We talked for a very long time. And now we have found ourselves here at smack dab at the time for my favorite time. It's the time for rap time.
Rap time.
Rap time. It's time for rap time.
And it's time for rap. For those who like to hear the words that rhyme, you have stumbled upon the perfect time. Rap time.
And I'm going to do the fat beats.
All right, give us a fat beat. I wish that I could rap a long song, but I feel like our segments went a little too long, so I'm done.
Nailed it.
And like we say every week.
Every week we say this.
Every week we say, if you were to find out where you were truly born,
you'd go back there
to the Matterhorn.
With the Matterhorn. That's
sorry.
what you'd say.
I jumped in. That's not how this works.
Yeah, you really horned in there.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. What?